off. Today is day 155 of the year of streaming and learning to code. We are continuing on here at Code Academy at 60% of the way through the Learn the Watson API. Let's go to here, check out the syllabus. So I think I wonder why it says 25%. Oh, because it has because there's only 4 sections, and the first section didn't have anything that needed to be completed. I don't think there was any instructional things with the green check mark. So if you're just on that page, it auto completes it, or it considers it completed, and says 25%. So anyways, we'll dive into that. Section 4. I think we're going to save Section 5, though, for tomorrow, because that means tonight will be a short stream. Last night was supposed to be a short stream, but that turned into some lengthy monstrosity. We're loading the catalog. So the reason why I want to save Section 5, I want to leave the last section kind of as the final section all by itself. I think, unless it's very few, if it's like 1 or 2 pages, or again, less than 4, maybe we'll knock it out, but I was kind of hopeful to do the last activity of Code Academy, just on its own individual day, kind of like how when I started Code Academy, I think I only did the first activity, the first lesson. So, anyways, but the reason for that, even though there are these 2 courses, which are new, they added those. These 2 weren't here when we started our journey. So we made it all the way through Code Academy, and it was only like when we got 2/3 to 75% of the way through was when they recently added these, probably closer to a month ago now. But we've finally made it to the last section, so I think we're just going to only do Section 4. I don't know. We'll see. These are semi-small, semi-dense. They're really hard to gauge how long they're going to take. But that's kind of my reasoning for wanting to leave Section 5 for its own day. We will definitely continue on after the last section and do learn JavaScript and control flow and learn responsive design as well. So we will follow through and finish those up. But that's that. So let's go ahead and close this tab. And we will dive into Section 4, Configuring Personality Insights, using the Personality Insights API. All right. So let's go back from the top. Overview, once she loads. Okay, so the overview for today will use Personality Insights PI to analyze the data tweets that the Celebrity Match application retrieves from Twitter. PI is just one of the many services available in the Watson Developer Cloud and is part of the Bluemix Service Catalog. PI uses linguistic analytics to infer personality and social characteristics from unstructured text, like the Twitter data we retrieved. This service infers personality characteristics by using 3 models. Big 5, the most generally used model, which describes 5 dimensions of the personality: agreeableness, conscientiousness, extroversion, emotional range, and openness. Needs describe what product attributes will resonate well with the person, and values describe what the factors that will motivate a user's decision making. You can learn more about the models and their dimensions here. That actually sounds relatively interesting. So we entered that to get inspired and see use cases with personality insights and other Watson APIs. Check out IBM's Learning Lab. All right. So here's personality insights, personality models, not modules, models. And wow, they really actually go into quite a bit of detail here. Interesting. So we don't necessarily need to read through all of that. Quick little overview. As described in our overview for users, personality insights analytics are developed based on the psychology of language in combination with data. Don't mind me, the tiny cat is like rolling around on the desk and I'm trying to move her without her sabotaging the stream. Where did we leave off? Something about describing the overview personality insights based on the psychology of language in combination with analytics algorithms. The characteristics are described in terms of 3 models, Big 5 needs and values. For more information, how they were developed, and how services use them, see the science behind service. Well, let's click on that. Science behind service, and yeah, not really feeling all of that. That seems like quite a bit of story time. More story time than anyone wants right now. What was that tab? We had a second link. So that was the first link. Let's check out the Learning Labs link. Development featured robotics. That's cool. Introduction to big data, free. Okay, so robotics was $50, $49. Free for introduction to big data, and web intelligence and big data, also free. Well, maybe we'll do all the free courses they have to offer here. Who likes that plan? I think I do. Courses by Codecademy. Interesting. Was the Python course done by Codecademy? Was the SQL course, or was that done in tandem with IBM? I wonder if all 3 of these courses were done in tandem with IBM. Maybe I just didn't notice. Strange. Oh well, good times. Wow, artificial intelligence nano degree. $800. I'm sure it's got to be a cool course, right? It's got to be a cool course. Okay, so good to know. So Learning Lab has all kinds of fun stuff that we can tackle in the future. Another fun thing to add to the pile, our ever-growing resources pile that we can explore for more info and insight. So personality insights, extracting things, recommendations, Big 5. Yeah, good. Okay, nothing life-changing there. Instructions. Feel free to explore and learn more about PI in the browser to the right. Well, I guess to the right for you guys. When you're done, click next to move to the next exercise. We'll gander. All right, personality insights, understanding personality characteristics. The thing is that we've seen all this stuff, though. We've gone over this for the last couple days, as our, the demos we've been building have been surrounding the personality insights module, or technically API. So yeah, I think we're good. Let's go ahead and hold off. Wow. Is this the pricing for the actual API? Huh. That's cool. They have a free plan. You know what? Maybe that's the pricing for all the APIs on IBM's Watson Developer Cloud. Yeah, that's probably for everything, not just this. It's probably not per API. Although I'm not too sure. You know what? That's fine. We'll find out another day. another mystery to solve for another day. Onwards, next. So, section 2 of 4. Personality Insights is a service that is part of the Watson Developer Cloud. The Watson Developer Cloud has a single software development kit, SDK, that allows users to access all the available services. To use the SDK, you'll need an IBM Bluemix username and password. After creating a Bluemix account, you'll be able to use Personality Insights in the Celebrity Match application and beyond Codecademy. One, log into Bluemix or create an account. Note, Bluemix credentials are required to successfully complete the application we're building. Create an instance of the Personality Insights service. Click on Service Credentials. In the navigation area to the left to access the username password for the Personality Insights service. I think we might hold off on that. We've made it into the 4th lesson of the API into the Learn the Watson API course. 4 lessons out of 5, and we still haven't had to sign up for it. We will sign up for it because I think it seems like a great resource, but we're going to hold off on that in the meantime. Yesterday, Mr. Demon Wolf was incredibly gracious in providing a faux count for Twitter to use for the Twitter API secret keys and access tokens and all that stuff we needed to complete the lesson. I can set up a test IBM Bluemix account, but we'll tackle that when we start to get into our side projects. So, what are we looking at? So that's logging into Bluemix. Meh. IBM Bluemix documentation. Can you see this without signing in? For a hint at what's to come? Possibly. She's loading. Adding a service to your application. Requesting new service instance. This is gonna be awesome when we get around to actually when we get around to actually doing something with the stuff. That's so cool. They already have so many pre-built things. I definitely want to use, was it whatever the image one was, like image recognition or video recognition. I don't recall which one it was, but anyways, there are a good handful of ones that I definitely want to try using. So we will go ahead, click that. What are we looking at? Click the link above to register with IBM Bluemix and obtain the necessary credentials you will need to complete the rest of the course. Onwards, section 3. Before we can retrieve from Twitter to Personality Insights to be analyzed, we need to set up the credentials for the Personality Insights. We can do this by adding 2 variables that will store the username and the password that are unique to the Personality Insights instance you created in the previous exercise, which we never set up, as we all just witnessed. For example, text stuff, 4S in status, if, the previous exercise. Aha, that. Yes, good. This is all stuff from the last exercise we did yesterday. See, so we end up having consumer key and all that stuff. Mr. Demon Wolf provided us with tokens and keys that we could use, but to complete the instructions, a lot of them in this Watson API course have not had a checkbox, like an actual task to complete. It's mostly just been verbiage to read through, and you can just proceed willy-nilly whenever you feel like it. So even though he gave us the tokens, like stuff that we could throw in, to actually pass the lesson yesterday, we couldn't we couldn't utilize them. They just wanted us to use their example very much like that. So again, that's why I'm kind of hesitant on setting up the Bluemix stuff, because in the end, it didn't even matter. We did need it to get through a certain page. It was like section, I don't know, 3 or 4 out of the 8 sections we had yesterday. We did need it to get through, I think, a page or 2 maybe, but then at the end, or halfway point, when it converted to this, we no longer needed the tokens or the keys and all that stuff. They were just using their info from their examples to proceed. So those rough edges we encounter quite frequently here at Codecademy. I'm sure maybe they'll be updating this course in the future. Fingers crossed they do, because this course thing, is this one of their new courses? They've got Get Help down here. I don't even know. I can't even tell. What are we looking at? So from yesterday's example, there was all this text for s in statuses if s.lang equals English, text plus equals s.text.encode in UTF-8. The IBM Bluemix credentials for personality insights, PI username, PI password, which we'll need to throw in eventually. I mean, we're going to throw that in now, of course. But we should have should being the keyword, but we don't. Items that actually go in here, something or other, right? But we don't have anything. All right, onwards. In celebritymatch.py, add the corresponding personality insight credentials you obtained in the last exercise to correct variables. Make sure to add each credential in between the single quotes. Use the example above to help you. Again, you can obtain the necessary credentials by clicking on Service Credentials in the navigation area within Bluemix for Personality Insight Service. Click Run to save your code. Note, the PI credentials are required to successfully build the rest of the Celebrity Match application. Without them, the application will not work. So let's go ahead and do, what happens if we run it? Probably get an error if we run it. Maybe it's just confused, maybe it doesn't like us. Regardless, we can still hit next and move on to section 4, which is what we're going to do. Aha! Look at this. We may actually need to set up a test account to knock this out. I'm surprised they waited until section 4 to bring in the checkboxes. Alright, so next, we'll make use of the Watson Developer Cloud Python package we imported earlier. Similar to how we interacted with the Twitter API, we'll create an instance, initialize it with a username and password, and set it equal to a variable called Personality Insights, like so. Here we've got Personality Insights username equals, aha, this is very much like yesterday. Even though we should have our own username and password that we would have just retrieved from Bluemix had we set it up. To complete this activity, they would want us to use their exact values here in the example, which is what we ended up having to do yesterday. Swapping out, even though Mr. Demon Wolf gave us those awesome keys and tokens, because they did require it in one of the previous sections, towards the end of the lesson, they jumped over to this, and we had to use the same exact verbiage in their formatting, phrasing, whatever you want to call it, in their example to pass. So we are still in the clear. We will be able to pass using exactly this. Okay, so here, the variable Personality Insights represents the Personality Insights API that we'll interact with. In your application, somewhere after the PI credentials, initialize Personality Insights and pass in the Personality Insights username and passwords credentials argument. Set it equal to a variable called personality insights. Use the example above to help you. Click run to save your code. And let's go ahead and copy this. We'll bury it down here. If it actually needs us to put in nonsense here on lines 20 and 21, we might be able to do that. Well, I'm sure we can, but we'll see if it gives us the green check marks, even with the quotes empty. I have a hunch that it will. And we're clicking run. Oh, it does not like anything we're doing right now. It is thoroughly pissed at us. Good, good. All right, so let's put in some values into PI username and PI password. Let's refresh the page. Come on. Okay, PI username and password. Let's do something generic. Should we do username? Is that wrong? Username and password. Oh. And we're running. Fingers crossed, maybe. Aha! Green check marks. Take that, Codecademy. We got them. All right, 2. Great. You successfully set up, not quite, set up the Personality Insights API that we'll be interacting with. In the next unit, we'll complete the Celebrity Match application by using PI to analyze the tweets and print out the results to the user. We'll also increase the quality of our code by making it easier to read and easier to use. Click up next to move to the next unit. We will take a peek at the next unit, which I think we're probably going to leave for tomorrow, unless it's a freakishly short section. But yeah, I think we're gonna do that. So let's go ahead. Next, gaining insights. Finalize the personality insights results by computing the shared personality traits between the 2 Twitter users. Okay. So even though the whole course, the Learn Watson API, has been kind of bumpy and not exactly smooth, mainly because we have to go to all the third-party websites and get different keys and usernames and all that stuff, even though we're not necessarily following through with everything, kind of like this makeshift username and password, we didn't actually set up our Bluemix account. We are still going through getting the general idea, so it's not a complete waste. We're laying the groundwork for a better understanding when we actually go to do a side project. All right, so there's 8 sections, so that should be fine for tomorrow. For a last day thing, we'll stumble through it, piece it together like we have been for the rest of this course, but I think it'll be good. Ending the last activity of Codecademy on a fizzle, right? That's perfectly in line with the last 55 days. All right, so today we are going to, we're going to finish this out, not finish, read through this intro, then we'll check our closing stats for today. So, tomorrow, day 156, the end, at least the final section of Codecademy, we will then the following day continue back at those 2 new courses they added, but this really should mark the end of Codecademy, if you will, from when we started our journey. But yeah, so from the top, in this unit, We'll be adding the code that will analyze the Twitter data we retrieve from Twitter users. At the moment, however, our Celebrity Match application can be tough to read or understand for other developers. Let's start by making our code easier to use and easier to read tomorrow. Let's go ahead and back out of this to check our closing stats for today. We are concluding today, day 155 of the year of streaming and learning to code, 80% of the way through Learn the Watson API with 1,800 points on the dot. That's awesome. I like seeing the zeros. And 263 badges. 22 skills down, courses, if you want to call it. Looking good. Look at that. Tons and tons of fun and frustration, but mostly fun here at Codecademy. Good times. Thank you to anyone and everyone who may have stopped by to view the streams. Also, anyone who may have accidentally stepped in to view the stream. Any and all views are greatly appreciated. Let's go ahead and back out of this. We'll dive into OBS. Close things down. The adventure continues tomorrow. Codecademy will be essentially coming to an end. Tomorrow, day 156 is on the horizon. But in the meantime, we are stopping the stream. Are you sure you want to stop the stream? Hell yeah. Kill it.